As a small business owner, not knowing how to read your profitability could be costing you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you shouldn't be relying on another party to read them for you. And I'll tell you why. So there's a lot of finance terms that are being thrown at you as a small business owner, and I completely get it. Watching Shark Tank growing up, you hear gross sales, gross margin, net margin. What does it all mean? In this video, I'm going to walk step by step through each and explain exactly what they mean. For those that don't know, my name is Alex. I'm a CPA with Stronghold Accounting, and my background was auditing the financial statements of publicly traded companies. Now we help small business owners through our accounting and advisory service. And let's talk about the profit margins and the different terms you need to know as a business owner. So revenue and sales, number one. Those are both synonymous. When you hear revenue, when you hear sales, that is just the total amount you're selling for. So let's say you're selling lemonade for $15. Your revenue for that lemonade is $15. Nothing more complicated than that. Now people will also say net sales. What does net sales mean? All net sales means is you take your revenue and you subtract out the discounts and refunds. So if you sold 10 lemonades, let's say at $10, right? You had $100 in revenue and you refunded one of those lemonades, you'd be left with net sales of $90, right? So that's all net sales is, just total sales minus the discounts and refunds. Now that is not to be confused with net income, which we'll cover last, but remember, sales, net sales, and next is your gross profit, aka gross margin. This is really important. What is gross profit and gross margin? All it is it's taking your total revenue minus the direct cost to produce that revenue. So for example, with your lemonade, the cup, the straw, the lemons, the sugar, etc., to create that product, the direct cost, right? And also, if you're a great business owner, you're also going to include direct labor to produce that lemonade. So the individual creating the lemonade, selling the lemonade, those would be your direct labor costs. And these are a part of what's called COGS, aka cost of goods sold. These are your direct labor and your direct cost to produce the revenue. So if you take your total sales, right, minus discounts, minus refunds, like we talked about, minus cost of goods sold, your direct costs, you are left with your gross margin or gross profit. And I always say this is the true engine of the business because it's your revenue minus direct cost. So this gives you a great gauge on how is the core engine of my business actually performing. So that's revenue, net sales, and gross profit. And the last one you need to know is net profit, aka net income, or net loss if it's negative. So all that is, if we take the same gross profit number we talked about already, which is sales minus discounts, refunds, direct costs. Now we subtract operational expenses, which are your day-to-day expenses not directly related to the product revenue. So for example, rent, utilities, marketing expenses, the managers on staff that aren't contributing to revenue, but are kind of like an administrative labor expense, payroll tax, benefits, things of that nature, not directly related to revenue. Those are your OPEX, aka operational expenses. So when you take your gross profit minus your operational expenses, you are left with your net income. And when you hear net, just think of a net catching this at the end of the day. This is catching whatever is left. Now, if you're negative, that's going to be considered net loss. But at the end of the day, net income, net loss, net margin, those are all what we're talking about here at the end after operational expenditures. And so that's kind of a high-level overview of what you should be understanding as a business owner when you review your profit and loss, right? Just to recap, total sales. Then you have net sales, taking out discounts, refunds. Then you have your gross profit after your direct cost of goods and your direct labor. Then you have your net income after operational expenses. Having the knowledge equipped as a small business owner in the finance realms gives you the opportunity to improve that profitability, because if you don't understand it, we can't improve it. And so this is step one on your journey to becoming a more profitable business. And if you need help producing the financials to actually see this data, that's what we help small business with, and also the guidance and advisory that we're talking about to interpret that data. So if you're interested in learning more, again, my name's Alex with Stronghold Accounting. You can check out strongholdaccountants.com/free consult to learn more about our services. And thank you again for watching. Take care.